I started my self-improvement journey in 2022. I made rapid progress, I'd say. I was progressing every day. I was going to the gym. I stopped playing video games for a whole year from nothing, from being a big video gamer. I just stopped suddenly. I stopped drinking. I was rarely going to parties. And then June 2023 occurred. Something happened in my life. I graduated from high school. It's a genuinely big thing. So, with such a sudden change, I didn't know what to do next. I had all this free time in the world, and I came back to all the bad habits I did. I started playing video games all day long. I started watching porn again. I started fapping, and this happened because I got complacent. My friends seen me doing such a progress, and I got complacent because I developed a huge ego. I still have a huge ego, but I know how to humble myself. And with this ego, I got blinded by it. And I thought that I was the man, I was such a G that I didn't need to improve more. And I just slacked off and fell back. I climbed this mountain of self-improvement, of second level of self-improvement, I'd say. And then I just chilled at the top. My name is Bartek,
My name is Timek.
and this is a self improvement channel of two bros trying to improve themselves and share our stories.
So today's topic is about complacency, about being happy with where you are. As you've probably heard of Bartek's story, those things happen mostly at the point when you're either right below, like starting your self-improvement, when you didn't even achieve anything, you're just happy with life because you don't think about what's about to come later on. You're just playing video games, drinking coke, not having any diet, and you're happy because everything feels good. But after like 20 years, you just have messed up health and you're barely living on because you're not able to do anything properly because you were playing games. So at the point when you are right up around the top, when you're getting the good physique, when you're having the great diet, maybe you start getting some money finally, you have a girlfriend or something, and that's the point where you start becoming complacent because you don't strive for more. And the thing with becoming complacent is that it's the easy way out. It isn't the proper way out. The fact that it's easy doesn't mean it's good for you. Staying in the same place can have a lot of impact on you because the fact that aren't doing anything more makes you kind of regress instead of progress. You're not staying in the same place. You're actually regressing.
You lose your focus. You were locked in, you made a lot of progress, and then you just lost your focus. You started being distracted by other things. There's a great story about, probably a lot of people know about Conor McGregor and his story. Basically, he was this prodigy, I'd say, and he was taking over UFC. Then he became so popular that he started doing something else. He started partying, he started distracting himself with women. He started doing drugs, I think. He started a whiskey brand. And when he was supposed to fight Khabib, you had two guys. One of them was doing 100 different things, and the second one was training and praying. And guess who won?
There's the tap! Still undisputed!
I have a quote for that from Thomas Edison, and that is, "We shall have no better conditions in the future if we are satisfied with all those which we have at present." Which, explaining it, means that if we are happy with what we have, the future we will have won't be different from now. We won't develop. Everything will be the same or even worse. And that's kind of what you are talking about, which that one of the fighters was happy with how he was performing. He thought that he can do all those different things because he is so good. Like everyone thought he was like the best. He thought he was the best. So he stopped training that much because he thought there wasn't a need to. Like he's already the best. Who can beat him? Yeah, the guy who actually trains and tries becoming the best. The future holds more improvement for those that actually strive for it.
In order not to get complacent, you gotta realize that you're not actually good enough and see your weaknesses. You need this humility to see above your ego and see your actual weak spots. You gotta admit to yourself that you're not good enough and don't lose your focus.
Many people tell this, But when you're like a student, you think you're really clever, you think you know almost everything. However, the professor, which is much further than you, knows that he barely knows anything. You probably think when you're not even close to the top that you may be the best. The people actually near the top understand that they are not even close and there is still much room for improvement. So I would advise to take action. If you have humility, you see that you are in a place that doesn't make you improve more, that makes you complacent, that you stay in the same place. Take action. If you're happy that you're sitting on the couch drinking Coke and playing video games, see the fact that it will ruin your life in 20 years and see how much this will change your life.
There's a quote from Socrates: I know that I know nothing, and it's perfect here. There's always a guy who knows more than you, who's better than you. And instead of thinking that you are the best, having this big ego, you gotta humble yourself and try to learn from them.
Yeah, there are many people, many famous people, ones that live now, ones that lived before, that were happy with what they had. However, they still wanted to have more, because the fact that you already have something doesn't mean that you're in a good moment in your life. And that kind of connects to my next point, which is embrace challenge. The fact that you may go somewhere, like let's say you don't have a girlfriend, you don't know how to talk to girls, you want to challenge yourself. You don't have to start with walking up to random girls, which would be the best. However, just having some challenge involving this type of situations will make you improve greatly, and after some time you won't become the best of it. Like, that's not an option you can have. However, you will come to a great point in improving yourself. These few situations when you were kind of feeling uneasy, kind of awkward, will make you improve, and that's why you should embrace it, because each challenge comes with its lesson and with an improvement to yourself. Even if it's slight, even if it's just a look at something that has changed, like your view on something, that still makes you better.
If you just climbed a huge mountain, you can't just chill at the top. You gotta look for a bigger mountain to climb on. If you achieved a big goal of yours, you need a bigger goal right away to strive for. If you don't have that goal, you will get lazy, you will get complacent, and you need to realize that the better you get, the more you have to sacrifice.
After you start actually challenging yourself, getting to be better, you start noticing that it helps you adapt to some situations. The fact that you're embracing the challenge, that you're inviting it even, the fact that you're not staying in place, makes you adapt to more situations more easily. So as I've said, if you start talking to girls, even though you have no experience in it, it doesn't mean that when you walk up to the girls, it's always like this one will be your next girlfriend. However, when you meet the girl that actually suits you, the girl that you would call a wife material, you adapted from the previous situations, you know how to actually talk to the girl. Because if you didn't challenge yourself earlier, you would know nothing. Maybe you would try something, she would look at you, maybe in disgust because you did something really wrong which you weren't supposed to do, but you just didn't have any experience because you didn't challenge yourself.
If you didn't approach your 5 out of 10, you won't gather the courage to approach your 10 out of 10. So, as the Max said, you gotta challenge yourself and progressively overload this challenge. A cheat code in life is to have a team. If you look at the best athletes in the world's history, they all had trainers, they all had a team behind them. It wasn't just them all alone. If you look at Kobe Bryant, he had Phil Jackson as a coach, he had Michael Jordan as his mentor. If you look at Mike Tyson, they all had a coach, they all had a mentor, they all had an idol.
So there is always someone that can teach you something, hold you accountable if you mess something up, someone that will just look over you. That will make you think that you aren't the best, that there are still many things to overcome, and it just improves your life.
You need a brother, you need a masculine man alongside who will keep you accountable, who will challenge you, who won't sugarcoat anything. He will tell you the hard truth if you need to hear it. He will always be by your side. The thing about ego is that it's actually good for you if you have a big ego. It's bad if you get blinded by your ego. As I mentioned, if you look at all these biggest athletes in the world, they all had huge ego. They thought they were the best, but they had the humility to ask for help, to ask somebody who knows more for an advice. So even though you have a big ego, because you need a big ego to achieve success, you need also this humility to ask for help.
Having ego also helps you improve on like a mental level. When you're a fighter, let's say, and you think that you aren't the best, you won't be the best. If you think that you are the best of the best, you will fight like the best of the best. Just the way you think will help you achieve some things which wouldn't be possible without this train of thought. If you don't have a huge ego, and if you just think of yourself as a medium fighter, medium strength, like low tier, you won't ever improve and get better because you don't think that you're able to.
Mike Tyson is probably an all-time great in boxing, and he had a huge ego. He, in most of his interviews, he said that he's the best that ever was, that he will kill anybody in the ring, that he can beat anybody, and he's just the best. He actually got blinded by his ego at some point, but I guess it's something that everybody has to go through and learn on their own mistakes. So stay humble and stay a lifelong student.
See ya.